everybody. Welcome to Live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It is Thursday, August 2nd, and I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Eric King.
And we are joined here in the studio by the wonderful Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello.
Look at that. And we have an incredible guest with us today.
Yes.
Huge Broadway star.
Yes.
No, not just kidding. Not a Broadway star, but fantastic guy. Bo Burnham is joining us today. Very excited.
Maybe he'll be a Broadway star one day. We don't know.
Absolutely. He's going to talk about his new movie, 8th Grade, which is absolutely incredible, and so much more. But first, let's get through today's Top 5.
A Tony winner is replacing a dame.
That's right. There's nothing like a dame. Unfortunately, she will be leaving us September 9th. We're talking about Diana Rigg in My Fair Lady. So Rosemary Harris will be replacing Diana Rigg. She's starting September 11th in the role of Mrs. Higgins, Henry Higgins' mom in My Fair Lady. You've probably seen Harris in her nine Tony-nominated performances, including The Royal Family, Waiting in the Wings, A Delicate Balance, Hay Fever, Pack of Lies, Heartbreak House, Old Times, and The Lion in the Winter, for which she did win.
Yeah.
1996.
Yeah, a Tony Award.
1966.
Yes, 1966.
Yes. So we're so excited to see her come in and replace
Aunt
Diana.
May.
Yeah,
But she's Aunt May.
She's Aunt May.
From the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I'll try not to do an impression of that.
Thank you. Great. And another jukebox musical is in the works. Another one.
It is, but there's an interesting little spin on this one. So
Yeah.
instead of being for a particular music artist and using all of their songs, this is for a producer, Max Martin, who is super prolific. You know a ton of Max Martin songs, even if you don't know what they are. Yes, Katy Perry, Adele, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, Celine Dion, Kelly Clarkson, Pink, Usher, the Backstreet Boys. So many more. I mean,
there's going to be so many people on the poster.
Just a ton of artists have worked with Max Martin. The casting director, Stuart Burt, posted a casting call on Twitter announcing this was just how we found out about it. Let's see. It will be features a book by David West Reed, who is the writer and executive producer of Schitt's Creek, which is hilarious. I love that show. It's so fantastic. It will be directed by Luke Shepard. It will be choreographed by Jennifer Weber, with music supervision by Tony winner Bill Sherman, who won for In the Heights.
Yes.
You know, little Lin-Manuel Miranda
Never
there.
heard of it.
Never heard of him? Yes. So this
Lin-Manuel?
musical is expected to premiere in the West End in the summer of 2019. We don't know a title. We don't know anyone involved other than the people that I mentioned. But
Can't wait to see what songs are in it, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sounds very exciting.
And someone's moving into the neighborhood. Yeah.
That's right. Giselle Jimenez is moving to Avenue Q.
Yep.
She's going to replace Dana Steingold, who has been Kate Monster since 2009. So she's going to be stepping into that role.
Oh,
and
snap.
I believe also that role is also Lucy the Slut.
I believe so.
So she'll also be playing that. Giselle was seen in Miss You Like Hell opposite Daphne Rubin Vega, which was this great
incredible
new musical about immigration and family that was recently at the Public. So she's also been seen in Party People off Broadway, and in 2010 she toured with the national tour of West Side Story. So yeah, she's going to start her run in the role on August 27th, and Avenue Q just celebrated its 15th anniversary.
That's right.
What
Good
a great
for them.
present.
What a great, New
Great
World
way to
Stages.
kick
Go
off
see Avenue Q.
their 15th year.
Yeah.
Do it. And the heat is on across the country.
Yes, Miss Saigon is launching a national tour on September 21st in Providence, Rhode Island. Very soon. Yes, they start rehearsals very soon. And we found out who will be playing all of these roles. Emily Bautista, who just left the national tour of Les Miserables, she was playing Eponine. She will be playing Kim. Red Concepcion will be playing the engineer, and Anthony Festa will be playing Chris. Red Concepcion is playing the engineer right now in the UK, or he's done the UK tour of the show. You might know Anthony Festa. He was recently in Desperate Measures, the York Theatre production company of that musical. We also did a really cool thing where we brought Emily Bautista here to talk with Lea Salonga and Eva Noblezada about the role of Kim.
Those gorgeous photos. They had a great photo shoot.
Incredible photos of them. They talked about the role of Kim and the show in itself. Very excited for this tour. Check out all of those photos and that video, and be ready for that national tour September 21st.
And school is back in session, and I honestly could not be happier about it, truly.
Yeah, it's back to school season.
Back to school.
So it's so exciting because we get the chance to see this awesome off-Broadway production of Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play once again, and we got casting today. So Joanna A. Jones and LaToya Edwards will join the original cast, all of whom are returning from the production, which was by Jocelyn Bio wrote it, and Tony winner Rebecca Teichman was the director. And it was awesome. I didn't get the chance to see it, and now I'm really glad.
Here's your chance,
It's coming back to the Lucille Lortel Theater. And previews begin October 16th, and it officially starts October 22nd.
It's a great play.
Joanna A. Jones was Peggy in Hamilton.
Yes.
I should say Anne Peggy.
And
I feel like that should be a part of her official title. And then LaToya Edwards was also in, oh God, what was she in?
She was in Miss You Like Hell.
Miss You Like Hell, another Miss You Like Hell alum. So yeah, we're really looking forward to that coming back.
Absolutely.
And those two prolific theater actresses.
Love it.
So
And
fantastic.
that's it. That was all 5.
Well, Eric,
bye.
thank you
go.
so much for all of your news help.
Go Burnham.
Yes, Caitlin, would you tell us a little bit about today's
Of
guest?
course. Guys, we have Bo Burnham in the studio today. We are super pumped, and as should all of you, because he's promoting his new acclaimed new movie, 8th Grade. If you haven't seen it yet, please go see it, because now it's nationwide in theaters. It started out as being in 2 cities, and now it's everywhere. It's amazing. We're so excited. I can't stop shouting. Okay. He also is a super successful comedian that you probably know from pretty much everything. I don't know. I quote him all the time. You guys probably do too. He also has a Netflix special called Make Happy and a book called Egghead, or You Can't Survive on Ideas Alone. So you can look at all that awesome stuff he's done. Make sure to follow him on social media at Bo Burnham so you don't miss out on all of his cool projects that he was working on. And leave all of your questions in the comments down below. Everyone, please welcome Ryan and Bo.
I'm here.
You're here.
Yay!
I've appeared.
You've appeared. The seat has
Yes.
changed. Yes. That's Broadway magic.
Yeah,
for
it
you
is,
right
yes.
there. Bo, thank you so much for joining
Thanks
us
for having me. I
today.
appreciate it.
Of course, happy. We around the studio love this office, love 8th Grade.
Oh,
It's
appreciate
such
it.
an incredible movie. I saw it
thank
earlier
you.
this week in a packed theater. It is nationwide. Is that right now?
Yes.
So make sure you go see it. We have so many questions for you about it. But first of all, just tell me what made you want to tell a story about a middle-aged schoolgirl.
Middle-aged
Yeah.
schoolgirl. yeah, that's what it is.
Middle school.
A woman in her
30 years
mid-40s
old.
going back to
Going
school.
back to school.
Yeah, there's a lot of high school movies, because I think we want to remember that time, and there's not a lot of middle school movies because I think we like to bury that time, but that's sort of like where the real drama of childhood was for me. And I wanted to talk about the internet, and it felt like I look at the internet and I'm like, why are we all acting like 13-year-olds? So you might as well tell a story about the only people that are acting their own age on the internet, which are 8th graders.
Absolutely.
True.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're somebody that obviously owes a lot to online culture. I mean, you've benefited, but
Yes.
you've also been a very, a critic of it, and trying to point out what you've learned, to a wider audience. Was that all at the forefront of your mind as you were writing this?
Yeah, I mean, the internet's just sort of neutral, and it can be really, really good or really, really bad, or and there's sort of only 2 conversations happening. It's like either like old man finger wagging about like put down your phones, or it's like content creators. You know what I mean? And it's like maybe there's a middle ground where we can understand that like this thing is a place that connects us, but also maybe makes us feel lonely. We can express ourselves, or we can objectify ourselves. So yeah, I had felt like the representations of the internet and kids in social media in movies was just so dusty and old and felt so incorrect. So I wanted to, for my own sake, try to portray it honestly.
Yeah, and I think it comes across. We're not the only ones around here that love it. It's 99% on Rotten Tomatoes if you care about that sort of thing. But people say you got just about everything right in terms of. My husband teaches in middle school.
Oh, does he? What
He
does
does. He taught 8th grade, but now he teaches 6th grade.
Okay,
So
is he teaching multiple
No,
subjects?
he teaches English.
Okay.
Yes, but he has a lot of English learning students.
Yeah, right.
He teaches in Queens, and he was just saying like he recognized so much of what was
Yeah.
Oh, that's
happening
great.
amongst those. How did you go about that research? I mean, did you just meet thousands?
Yeah,
and
it really
thousands
was that, and it was just like casting actual kids at that age. It was real 8th graders, like the band teacher in the movie
With
that
the
has the
rat
rat tail.
tail,
That's
right?
the real band teacher. That's his real rat tail. You know what I mean? So that was more it. It's like if it feels true, it's the kids authoring those true moments. It was my job just to listen, and sometimes movies about young people can feel like an old person's memory of what it's like at that
Right.
time, and that can be fun. But I didn't want to make something like that. And it being a girl, I couldn't pretend like I
Totally,
knew what she was
yeah.
going through. So
Yeah.
I just tried to defer to the kids and let them sort of lead me.
Absolutely. And speaking of that girl, your character Kayla Day is portrayed by Elsie Fisher, who's just absolutely unbelievable in this movie. How did you were watching an interview of her on like a red carpet?
On like a brown carpet in a rec center. It was not a great event, but it was like, yeah, every other kid. It's funny. We saw a lot of young actors, and they were incredible. We saw a lot of young Broadway actors too for the role. And I was like very, very impressed too with young Broadway actors being able to adjust for the camera.
Right.
That's very difficult because I came from theater, and like I was had to be told through my first like 3 film auditions like, less like you're not performing not performing for the back row, you can kind of chill out. It's like Bryan Cranston's LBJ, you know what I mean? Where like I saw it live and it was amazing, and then you see it on HBO and you're like, this is big on
I love that.
yeah, it was she was the only, every other kid kind of felt like a confident kid pretending to be shy, and when she read it, she felt like a shy kid pretending to be confident, which is the role that shyness isn't cowering in a corner. Shyness is actually wanting to speak. So she made it active. She took a character that could have been sort of blank and passive and made her someone that wants something.
Right. And also just the way you portray the use of social media in this movie felt so different from everything we've seen. You know, it's become popular that as people are typing, you know, the bubble kind
that's
of
the
like
worst.
comes
I
up.
hate that
No,
so
but
much.
this was like, and like through her cracked screen, you know, on her phone, was that,
Relatable.
it was just remarkable in terms of, what were you adamant about, like this
Real
looking-
screens, real internet. Yeah, because I think like it's beautiful as a light source. You know, like and when you have someone read a newspaper in a movie, the letters aren't like typing on the screen. You know, you cut to the newspaper because it's about it being on paper. And I mean, the image of someone in the dark looking at their phone is just, I think, a very beautiful and sort of cinematic image. So yeah, it's all real internet. I also knew like if she logged on to friendbook.com, we were dead. You know what I mean? So like it had to be the real internet and the real, like, you know, we created 300 fake accounts, and those are really messaging her in real time. It was a pain in the neck, but I'm happy with it.
No, and I know the line, nobody's on Facebook anymore. Like I saw my husband be like, nobody is.
But that I had written her DMs on Facebook, and then Elsie read the script and said no one uses Facebook anymore. So I changed all the DMs to Instagram and then put that line in the movie. So that was me being dusty. I didn't know anything.
Is there something in the course of you know, casting being amongst all of these middle schoolers, is there something that you learned that either, you know, has made you more optimistic about the future with these young people, or kind of scared you a little bit? What would you say you took away?
No, the kids are self-aware. The kids like the culture is just as scary as you think it is, probably more, but like the kids themselves, you're like in on the joke of being 13 when you're 13. You forget that.
Right.
Like you're making jokes about the fact that you're hitting puberty and your voice is cracking. And like you know what you're going through. You know, so like a lot of kids, you know, people ask me like, was it hard to like have these kids have to be awkward? Was that strange? And it's like, no, they know they're awkward. Like actually they probably are just more aware of their awkwardness than we are. Like we're all awkward. Life is awkward. So that was what was inspiring, just seeing how open kids are. Young actors, like adult actors need like a 3-hour ice bath to get to the place that, you know, young actors just are. They're just like ready to imagine right away. You know, and adult actors need like to like you know, go into a trance or something.
And also, I know that you've been open about how a few years ago, before you started, like when you would get ready to go perform, you would experience you know, panic attacks. And we have an actress here on Broadway right now who's been very open, Patty Murin, about her anxiety. Who's in Frozen, and I know Elsie also wrote, I think, an essay about her anxiety. Is that something that you feel a responsibility to bring awareness to and to be open about?
Well, the responsibility is because like it was other people's articulation of it that helped me when I was going through it. It was like it wasn't until I read about like, because when you're like having a panic attack on stage in front of 3,000 people, and you're like Googling like how to deal with, you know, stage fright, and the recommendations are like, don't worry, they don't really like, the people in the crowd don't even care. I know you're like presenting for your college class. I'm like, no, I'm presenting for 3,000 people who paid $40 to see me. But when I heard that like Adele and like Barbra Streisand has huge anxiety issues.
Yeah,
like that was very, very helpful, because the real panic is thinking you're alone in it, and especially in the performance and arts, you feel especially alone. Like, why did I pick this thing if I'm struggling with it? But it's much more common than I think people think it is.
Yeah, absolutely. You were a theater kid in middle school. You were in Footloose. Ren McCormick. A Ren McCormick.
I was
right
a Ren
there.
McCormick.
Yeah. And you were admitted into the NYU's Tisch School of the Arts for experimental theater.
Yes.
Is that kind of performing something that you are still interested in in terms of not your stand-up but being part of productions and theater?
I would, yeah. I mean, I sort of wrestled everything I loved about theater into my stand-up, so like, and even into filmmaking. So I feel like it's all one thing, and like the sort of lessons I learned about acting for film were the lessons I learned as a young person doing theater of, the best thing you can do for young people performing, give them ownership over the material, feel like they, are empowered to be a part of it, not just be a conduit for whatever your vision or something. My theater teacher in school was very, very big on Julie Taymor, like very big, like magic flute and stuff. So it was a lot of like we were doing like a lot of puppets and shadow work, a lot of scaffolding.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I was very interested in like Grotowski and stuff. So sort of very. I did for my audition. I did a Butoh dance where I shaved my head and painted myself white.
No way.
Yeah. So I was out there.
Very committed.
Yeah, and I was always a big fan of musical theater, but that actually wasn't really what I was pursuing when I was going to college and things. But yeah.
No, I saw
Elsie's a big fan too, and there's musical theater references in the movie if you saw.
Oh no! So yesterday, Bring It On celebrated their 6-year anniversary of opening on Broadway. I loved that. I loved Bring It On. But no, and also I saw you did the Reddit AMA earlier today, and someone asked you like if you would be interested in doing musical theater. I mean, there's precedent with like Trey Parker, Matt Stone taking their musical comedy and turning it into Broadway gold. Is that something that
I would love to. It's a huge endeavor. Obviously it's like 7 years or whatever. So I would need also like the Mark Shaman to my Trey Parker. I mean, I guess Mark was that for the movie, but Robert
Lopez
was I would need a orchestrator, full-on orchestrator, and probably a co-composer because I'm pretty limited musically. Like I'm pretty decent melodically, but not really like I don't know where like the violas come in or anything.
should reach out to Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, exactly.
Lin, you're watching.
But yeah, so I would be very interested in it. Yeah, and I'm still a big fan. I've always been a fan.
Yeah, is there anything that you have seen recently that you you've connected with?
I haven't. We're good. Elsie's a big fan too of Broadway, so we're going to a show tonight, I think. What recent ones have I seen? I mean, I'm a huge Sondheim fan, so I went and I saw
amazing.
like Sunday in the Park with George is my favorite thing. And it's my girlfriend's favorite too, and I got her for Christmas one of the original like handwritten scores that they had given out to producers. They had given out like bound ones to old producers, and I found it on eBay. I was able to get it. But I actually liked Jake Gyllenhaal's version of that, and I was sitting front row, which is like a bummer. When you're I was like, oh man, why did we pick front row? This is the worst. But that production wasn't actually so much about the staging, and it actually like. It is a fascinating performance to see from this far away, so I was like very happy to be.
Yeah.
But what recently? I haven't been really great. My friend is Tim Minchin, who wrote Matilda and everything. So
yeah,
Matilda
Groundhog
was
Day.
I love Groundhog's Day, and I love Matilda.
He's incredible.
But yeah, I need to get caught up.
You've been kind of busy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You've been
you don't have to make any apologies.
I think you get a free pass there.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I know that we have a lot of people watching and very excited. So let's take some questions from some of you guys. See what you want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this one people are asking a lot. What made you want to choose Hamilton and Bring It On to be featured in the movie?
Oh, that's so funny. So my props master, who does all the props, Dan Fisher. The Bring It On playbill is a real signed playbill that is his daughter's, and it's so great because it tells such a story. Because it's not just that she likes this musical; it's she waited out there, you know what I mean, and got all the signatures, which I love. And then when we were auditioning the musical, the movie. There's one of the scenes is her with her dad at the dinner table with her earphones in, and I would have all the kids just listen to music while I did the scene with them, so they were actually distracted. and I'd go, pick any song you want. Like, just pick any song you want and start playing it. And literally 9 times out of 10, you'd hear, how does a bastard orphan? Like, every single 13-year-old kid was listening to Hamilton. So, like, I knew we needed to get Groff sauce in there.
Right. Yes, always.
Yeah.
Always get some Groff sauce in there. Okay, so this one is, what was your favorite 8th grade memory?
I don't know. My favorite. It might have been Footloose. There was there was sort of like a real love triangle happening on the last day of Footloose between 2 possible female suitors for me at the time.
Wow.
And that was very, and it never was
Big
that at
year
the
for
time.
it.
and one of the girls, I can't want to say these names, had a necklace with a key on it, and I said, "Is that the key to your heart?"
Oh.
Wow.
And that was a huge moment for me, and I was downhill ever since. But I was not like fending off suitors my entire childhood. It was only when I had, I had to cut loose.
Yeah. Did Footloose unlock something for you, just in terms of, had you been performing?
No, yeah, I had. I was 5th, 6th grade that I really started to do theater a lot, and then I would do it during the summer, and yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Cool, yeah.
I had to do, in high school, I had to do a production of Crazy for You, which is one of Gershwin's.
Great music.
Yeah, it's, well, when done correctly, perhaps. But I had to tap dance, and I'm 6'6", and my shoes are size 15, and they don't make taps in that size. So they had to weld taps to black dress shoes, and it sounded like, literally like pots and pans falling down the stairs. It was bad.
Oh my god.
Very bad.
That's so funny. Okay, you said that, it does take a long time to get like a Broadway show run. How long has 8th grade been in the making?
I wrote it like 2014, early 2014, and then took like 3 years to. The time with a movie is just getting the money. Sure. You know what I mean, like that just takes forever and ever and ever. Yeah. So it took me a long, long time. And then I released my last special on Netflix, and that got enough momentum where I was like, I think I can get a little bit of the money to make this movie. So I got the money probably fall 2016, and then we filmed it we had to wait until the summer 2017 because if the kids are out of school in the summer, it's cheaper to film at the schools. Sure, everything is just cheaper.
And you filmed it here in New York, right? Yeah.
Suffern, yeah, just 90 minutes north of the city. So I had that sort of 8 months to prepare myself which was nice. I just watched 3 movies a day and read like a book a week or something. But movies are much quicker than musicals. I don't know what's longer than a musical in terms of really
from beginning to
it's just such an endeavor.
What was your favorite part of the process of making 8th grade?
The production, just like being with the kids and working with the kids was the best part, definitely. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, what do we want to do next? Okay. What has it been like seeing the movie go from just 2 cities to nationwide?
Absolutely.
What is this past, like, I feel like month of people knowing about the movie been like?
Yeah, it's been great. It happened so quick, and it's just insane. And yeah, it's probably meant to be processed after the fact. When you're in it, it's just like if you smell the roses, you'll faint. So you just like wait and just hopefully take it in and just, stay healthy. So just trying to drink water. But it's been great. I mean, people seem to be seeing the film in similar terms to the way we made it. You know what I mean? It just like, it seems like our intentions are generally coming across, which is just lovely.
Right. And people seem to be going back. Like that's, I mean, I think that's the hard part to pull off. Like where you get people to keep coming back to the theater, especially as movie passes like crash.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, which is an issue.
Right. But to get people to want to keep going back, that must feel incredible, especially with this being your first feature.
And you wanted to see, a lot of people think like small movies about people are meant for the television, or streaming, and it's like, I did theater. When I did stand up, I built my show to be seen in a theater. It wasn't meant to be in a club. It was meant to be in a theater, and I like to think the movie's the same way. It may seem small, but it is meant to be seen big and loud. Like it is intended to be seen in that space, even though it's about a 13-year-old girl going to a pool party. It's supposed to feel really, really big and larger than life.
No, absolutely. And now that I know that you're, in the moment with this movie right now, but has it stirred up any kind of craving or desire to do, like, are you thinking about what you want to do next, or are you really just trying to marinate in?
Yeah, I'm not a great, I'm just not a good multitasker, so once this is done, I'll be able to, like, sit and think, but yeah, there's some ideas, but once this is out of my head, I'd rather, just start once this is behind me, rather than try to compare it too much to whatever this is.
I think we have time for another
let's
question.
do one more. Okay, so a lot of people are wondering, was it hard, or I don't know, being seen as someone from like Vine, YouTube versus, you know, this movie and this being a little bit more realistic and sentimental and pulling on people's heart versus, you know, your hilarious songs and your comedy? Like, what has that been like?
You know, it's like, this is truer to who I am, kind of. I mean, people that know my work probably see it as like a left turn, but for people that know me, it's actually weirder that I got up there and acted all whatever. So I don't know. I mean, you just try to just take the thing project by project and not worry too much about like your oeuvre or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like your body of work. Like that doesn't really do anything for me. So it's like, if some people like this and some people like this more or less than the other stuff, it's like, that's all cool. You know, you just try to just serve the thing, the actual project, rather than serve like, how does this fit into my narrative? Because that's like, who cares about that?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've seen you say before that you feel like the country, the culture is having an 8th grade moment right now.
Yeah. True.
Would you elaborate on that and just what you're thinking?
Well, it just feels like, like we're sweating, what's happening, everything's changing. I think I'm going to pass out. Like, that just sort of feels like the culture. I mean, our president has at best an 8th grade reading level, so it's like, you know what I mean?
I
It's like,
think that's being kind.
and I think this is a safe place to say that as well, streaming on Broadway.com.
Oh, you're good.
All those diehard Trump Broadway fans.
Don't think that exists.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we once again, we love the movie so much.
Thanks.
We so much appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
you,
and talking with us today. Come join us on Broadway.
I would
Come
love
do
to,
something
yeah.
on Broadway
In some
soon.
capacity, I'd love to, even if I'm
Absolutely.
tearing tickets.
Please, we'd love to have you. And make sure you go see 8th grade. It is open nationwide right now. It's absolutely incredible. And you know where to follow Bo, all over the place. Make sure you check him out. Thank you so much once
Thanks,
again.
guys. Appreciate it.
You, of
Thank you.
course.
Thanks for your time.
And Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 on Facebook every single day. And you can listen to all past Live at 5 interviews or listen to this one over and over again by going to wherever you get your podcasts, typing in hashtag Live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. We don't have Live at 5 on Friday, so be sure to tune in on Monday when we talk to Broadway favorite Rachel Tucker about her upcoming 54 Below show.